How's it going, Song of Ice and Fire fans? Grant from Yecats Miniatures, bringing you another unboxing and analysis with my good friend Brett Lampher. And today we're going to be looking at my favourite house, House Targaryen, with their new box, the Brazen Beasts. So let's get stuck into the artwork. So the Brazen Beasts are the city watch for Meereen that are formed by Queen Daenerys Targaryen. Yeah, and we get that quite a lot in the artwork. Really cool sort of faces on these. Look, you've got the sort of the bear, the cat, the hippo, the bird, the owl. Oh, this is what I believe they are. Yeah, we're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different sculpts and the captain, including a unit standard. So yeah, nice amount of sculpts here. So let's get this box open. We're probably going to cover these guys in the Road to Meereen painting series, but if you get them painted before us, maybe post them on Instagram and tag us so we can see what you're doing with them, and maybe we can take some inspiration from you guys. It's such cool artwork, really love all different masks and stuff. So we have a standard 12-man infantry tray and our cards, and remember, me and Brett will be going over this after the unboxing, just go over how we use these units. 6-point unit there, and the attachment there, the Brazen Beast captain. Lots of rules and information on the card, as you would hope from a 2-point attachment. So you start off with the guy from the artwork. Now this is what I believe to be the owl face. He's wearing an owl helmet, and he's got loads there. I really love the pose. Love how he's sort of a defensive stance, and you get the sort of the patchwork robes there that I think is supposed to represent the different parts of Meereen. But yeah, really like it. Really quite low down. The hood's really cool. And then we move on to the. I believe this is some sort of raven or crow face. It's got like a long beak on it. You can't really see it there. A bit closer if you see it. But again, loads of detail, like the patchwork cloak, and the long, like the spear, but he's using it as a halberd, which is quite cool, though probably not practical. Lots of movement, loads and loads of movement. Yeah, the patchwork cloak. I'm sure it is the. It's supposed to represent the many coloured bricks of Meereen. Really cool sculpt. And then we move on to the. See, this one I believe is a wolf, maybe, or a cat. Might be a panther. So I got a cat, but still really cool. Again, nice pose. I'm really liking the dagger and the sword combo. The cape's in a weird position, that one, but it just seems a bit strange with it sort of billowing both sides. Maybe just getting caught in the wind, but it's more stalking along the city. Maybe more like the cat face that he's depicting, just stalking around the city, ready to kill some sons of the Harpy. But again, there's so much detail in these miniatures, even like the little stitching on the robe. There's so many parts of it, the boots, and all these miniatures are wearing hoods as well, which is really cool. So that's that one. Then we move on to, now this one's more of a dog, so this is the, I imagine it would be more of a wolf than a dog, or praise House Stark. And this one, instead of going for a bladed weapon, has gone for a blunt cudgel, sort of like a mace, and it's footing that tactical rock, because you can't beat a tactical rock, especially when you are a wolf. But again, this is same sort of level of details, all the other miniatures. You know, the patchwork cloak looks really cool, the hood looks really cool, lots of belts and strappings. And this one is my favourite. I do love a unit standard, but this one is incredible. I love he's obviously a hippo mask, but he is so chunky. Like, what a unit. I mean, he's obviously decided to go to battle with his sledgehammer to play some next level whack-a-mole with some Sons of the Harpy heads. But yeah, loads of, also that patchwork cloak has obviously gone across to the banner as well. So it's a patchwork banner, which is quite nice. Can't wait to see how people paint these. And then we have our character. So this is the Brazen Beast captain. And again, a really cool pose. I think the face this one is supposed to be maybe a bear, I guess. If you've got better ideas than I have, pop a comment in the section below, let me know. But that dual wielding axe and flail, you know, you really don't want to get in this guy's way. And this one's actually wearing a bit more armour if you check the chest plate. Be nice to sort of paint them in like a brazen brass colour. So that's the unboxing done. Here's the unit spinning. I'm going to leave you with these so you get to see what they look like ranked up. And I'm going to go and jump on a call with Brett to talk about what these miniatures offer the Targaryen roster and how we might use them in our games. How's it going, Brett?
Hey, Grant, how's it going, man?
Not too bad, mate. Not too bad. You know, pretty standard week, if I'm honest. You?
Oh, it's about the same. It's a little bit slow here, so I get to talk about my favorite game in the entire world with you, so I can't take that as a loss. I can't take that as a loss.
Let's talk about Pokemon.
Oof. It's been a long time since I played that. Been a long time.
Wrong chat. Right. Anyway, but we are talking about ASOIAF, though. So we're going to talk about Brazen Beasts. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm super ready.
Well, these like Pokemon, so but they're people with masks that are brazen. It's clever. Right. So on screen, man, we've got the Brazen Beasts. So they're coming at 6 points. They've got a movement of 6, which is nice and fast. Because obviously Targaryens lack speed. Then they've got an attack profile, Motley armaments. They're hit on a 3+, which is always welcome. On a 6/5/4, so pretty standard attack. Then we've got a defensive profile of a 5+ armor save and a 6+ morale. Now they've got the order Sentinel, which I quite like as an order, and it reads: after another friendly unit in long range is attacked, this unit performs one charge or maneuver action. If charging, it must target the attacker. And then for the Motley armaments, we get: if attacking in the flank, choose one. If attacking in the rear, gain both. Either +1 attack die and critical blow, or defender loses all abilities this turn. Now, on paper, I really like these. I really like the fluff in the background of Brazen Beasts. But I really like this unit as well. I like Sentinel. I've always liked Sentinel. I like Recaro, Blood Riders. I really like Motley Armaments because we've used it, or we've seen it used in Bloody Mama Source Riders. If I'm honest, looking at these, I struggle to see where they fit in the Targaryen roster. Really, when we first sort of had them leaked, I was hoping it was going to be a new 5-point unit, but at 6 points, I don't really think they offer too much. But I mean, I think they've got play. I think with certain attachments that they'll probably get some play. Have you seen these on the board yet? Have you used them?
I have not personally used them, and I haven't actually seen them yet. That said, they are very similar to the Zorse Riders, and it's the Zorse Riders have the free cav maneuver. You could argue that the Brazen Beasts have Sentinel, and that kind of makes up for it. I think that Sentinel is a good ability. You've just got to really build around it. And the other big part of that is you've got to... So there's a couple of things that you need to make Sentinel work. You've got to have some degree of activation advantage so that you can set that unit up in a spot where Sentinel is actually a threat. And then you really need another unit that they want to attack or have to attack. And so in Targaryens, I think if you can manage to set something up where, you've got a dragon threatening, and then you've got the Brazen Beast waiting to Sentinel in. I mean, they're not going to ignore a dragon. Other than that, you have to lock them down with units, and while they're engaged, they don't have a choice but to attack or retreat. So you can essentially use Sentinel as a threat to force them basically to retreat, or else they're getting Sentineled into the flank. Now, all of that said, does it work? Maybe, potentially. I mean, you could use Quaithe alongside it, but I think it's at the 6-point mark. It's a bit of a struggle for me to see these guys getting the potential that they have really, really out there. And I think the other thing, they've absolutely got to be attacking in the flank or the rear, because the 6/5/4 profile's not anything that's going to be overly scary. You really need to get the 7 dice with critical blows on a 3+ in the flank, which is nice, but I just don't know. Maybe there's something that I'm missing, but for me, it just seems really difficult to get these guys to work.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I mean, I want to see them played. If people are using them already, I know they're not available widely everywhere at the minute, but if people are using them and are getting some utility out of them, getting some use out of them, maybe leave us some tips in the comments below, so we can have a little look at them. I mean, I've got 2 boxes of these, so I'm gonna be running them because the miniatures are absolutely stunning. Like, I don't know, don't know if you've seen him yet, but the actual standard bearer itself is a hippo mask, but he is one chunky geezer. I mean, I don't want him sitting on me. Maybe that's where the critical blow comes from. But I mean, I think they've got utility, because they've got, the defender lose all abilities. For me, whenever I see that, and me and you spoke about when the first, the newer version of the Resource Riders came out, that we said that these would be amazing as anti-Lannister tech, just to get rid of that Lannister supremacy and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the unit that comes to mind. Lannister Guard come to mind, and then there's other units, like being able to stop the swift retreats, being able to stop counter strikes is really nice. Those are relatively punishing abilities. In the case of a disrupt counter strike pairing, you would be able to stop both. That's always really, really nice. And there's definitely times where you want to be able to shut abilities off, and I think they're erring to the side of the caution on the developer's end, where they don't want these elements that have some level of control to be so easily accessible and to be, relatively cheap. These types of control items tend to be something of a negative play experience, so I think they err to the side of caution with them. And for what it's worth, I would prefer it that way. I would prefer, as frustrating as it can be, because we all get excited about new releases, of course. We love seeing new things. We love things that shake up what we're running in our own list and what shake up the meta as well. But coming from my point of view, I would much rather that they released something and erred to the side of caution, and maybe it was a little underpowered, and then they buff it up as the updates come, versus releasing things that are just egregiously overpowered. They're so meta warping, and we've seen something like that happen with the dragons and the mammoths. I mean, I am the biggest CMON fan, but I don't think we can even dance around that. Dragons and mammoths at release were just completely overpowered. And so I would rather that they err to the side of caution.
I'm undecided. I want to see them on the board. I wonder if there's something that will come to light of them the more we play them. I mean, as far as attachments go, can you you got any sort of ideas? Commanders I'll talk to commanders. What I don't understand is why Skahaz doesn't do more for Brazen Beasts. Being the Brazen Beast commander, I was hoping that he'd have some sort of buff, synergy, keyword sort of thing with Brazen Beast. You thought he'd do something to buff them, but it just sort of didn't happen.
Well, I think he himself works pretty well with them. These are a flanking unit, and you're adding the Order Insight, and you can make them vulnerable, potentially earlier in the round. But I think those abilities go pretty well anywhere, as far as Targaryens, because they just don't have a lot of innate vicious for any of their units. So, as far as attachments, you could maybe make a case for Selmy, because with the new version of Knightly Vow, you'd be able to reroll a charge distance, so you could set up a long-range Sentinel bomb. It's not great. I don't know.
So yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. If people have some game with them, leave a comment in the section below. Let us know how you're using them. But this also comes with quite a cool attachment, if I'm honest. I quite like it. It's the Brazen Beast Captain. Now, it comes in at 2 points with the Order Insight. When this unit is performing a melee attack before rolling attack dice, this attack gains Vicious and rolls its highest attack die value. It comes with Furious Charge. Enemies successfully charged by this unit become vulnerable. And it comes with Iron Resolve. This unit gains +1 to panic test rolls and suffers -1 wound from failing panic test. Now that is quite a decent package for 2 points. It's an even better package for 1 point. So yeah, I think you understand what I'm getting at. So do you want to go through what you might use these bad boys in?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I think he's a pretty good fit for the Stormcrow mercenaries. You're adding a pretty fair bit of offense by way of insight, and then you're adding the Furious Charge, so the vulnerable token when you charge. But more importantly, you're turning their defense profile isn't bad. I mean, a 4+, 7+ isn't bad, but if you can turn that into a 4+, 6+ with 1 less wound, as we know, pushing through just the raw damage without any supplemental panic damage can be really difficult. So Iron Resolve is an ability that I reach for, that I quite like, and I think people should in general be reaching for that as well, because as we know in this game, a lot of the name of the game is chip and panic.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of abilities for 2 points, and I think just making the Stormcrows 6 points to have that many rules is quite good. I'm definitely keen to try it out. And the miniature is wicked as well, like the actual Brazen Beasts captain. To be fair, I think of all the infantry you've got in Targaryens, I think Stormcrows are really the only place you're going to see them played. I mean, I'd love them rules and Unsullied, but what I don't want is 9-point Unsullied units running around.
Unless they've got Reek and Ramsay in them.
Shut up, Reek and Ramsay. What about Reek and Ramsay wearing Brazen Beast masks? Reek can be wearing the hippo one, and Ramsay can be wearing the lion one.
Well, I mean, there you go. You've solved the dilemma. That's exactly what we'll do with them.
Yeah. Okay, man. Cool. Well, yeah. Well, that's mine. Your faults, I guess. So we'll leave it there. Not much more to say about them really. But the miniatures are really good. I really do encourage people to get them because with like all these things, they may be sort of a lesser than top tier at the minute, but next time patch comes, it may rebalance it. And the miniatures are really nice, and I can't wait to paint them. If I'm honest. So yeah, leave a comment in the section below, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Have a good one, Brett. Cheers for your time, mate.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Take care, man. Bye.
See ya.
Thank you from both myself and Brett at Yecats Miniatures for taking the time to check this video out. If you've subscribed, thanks for that too. We really do appreciate the support. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider giving the video a like, as it really does help others to see it, and perhaps consider subscribing for more A Song of Ice and Fire the miniature game content. If we've got anything wrong, or you have some ideas on how you would use these guys with or without attachments, please leave a comment in the section below and we'll make sure to reply to every single one. If you want to connect on other social media, links are in the description below. One last massive thank you from myself and Brett. We hope you've enjoyed the video and have found it helpful. You take care.